For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in to thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. I'm already mumbling. I'm not sure if you can tell it in my voice. If you're a diehard listener, you know that I'm a little bit stuffed up. I'm not doing my B. Arthur impersonation. And I think I've talked about this on the show once before, but it bears repeating. And I really do need to look back because I don't get sick very often. And sometimes I actually just get I sound very stuffed up and congested, but I'm actually fine. I don't know if that ever happens to you. It happens to me quite a bit. But this time, I am actually sick. And here's the deal. It comes to me in waves. Like, I think that I would rather have the cough, the sneeze, the fever, the sore throat, all that. I would rather have that all at once. Hit me for like a day and a half, 2 days, get it out of my system, and let me get back on with my life. Instead, it ends up dragging out 4 or 5 days, right? And it always happens the same way for me. It's a little bit of a tickle in the morning when I wake up. That's what happens. It's just a little bit, and like, okay, maybe I'm dehydrated, so I have some water. And then, as the day goes on, as you talk more, it starts to hurt more and more, right? And then by the end of the day, it's like full-on sore throat. And you're like, okay, you know what, I'll sleep it off, it'll be fine. And then for me, at least, the next day is when the stuffed up nose happens, and the runny nose. And then after that, it'll be the fever. And the very end for me is the coughing, that really dry, hacking sort of a cough, and the sneezing. And so really that's how it goes in like 4 phases, is what it is. And when I'm sick, I like to just be left alone. Like, you know, like when you're a kid, you kind of want your mom or dad or whoever it is, you sort of want them babying you, right? You want them kind of taking care of you. You want them, bring you some juice. Oh, are you okay? Feeling your forehead if you're too hot, if you have a fever, whatever it is. And when you're a kid, you probably do play it up a little bit, don't you? Like I would always just be so sick. I remember being wrapped up in my blanket and then walking so slowly to my room. And my brother made fun of me one time. He's like, so being sick makes you move in slow motion? Like, I don't get it. And so I was kind of like, yeah, I guess I was exaggerating a little bit overdramatic, which is not like me. It is. And so now, though, as an adult, I just want to be left alone. And I appreciate when people are texting and calling and asking how you're doing. It's like, just, you know what, you'll hear from me when you hear from me. Just let me die in peace. I really don't like having anybody fawn all over me. I really don't when I'm sick. When I'm feeling good, fine, great. But yeah, no, when I'm sick, it's like, just let me ride it out on the couch. Just let me kind of hunker down, get into my little bunker, and ride it out. And you know, the one thing that I do appreciate, though, maybe I'll call bullshit on myself, but I don't get sick very often, as I said, and so my medicine cabinet really doesn't have any of the, the pills and the medications or anything like that. So I do appreciate somebody offering to go and get that for me, because again, when you've got the chills and the fever and you're going back and forth, because I swear to you, I thought it was hot flashes at one point. Excuse me. Here we go. I'm not sure that I've ever had a coughing fit on the show before, but it's happening right now as we're live on the Scribble on this, October 5th here. And so, I kind of do like if somebody's going to go and get me some orange juice or whatever, but don't come in the house. That's the thing. You just leave the bag of groceries outside. I will come to the door when I'm ready. It's almost like a ransom package, right? Just leave it, step away from the door, go, and then I'll come out and get it. I just don't like to be, I just don't want to be around people when I'm sick. But I was actually at the store the other day when I started to get the fever and the chills and everything. And again, like my back was soaking wet from sweat. Like, that's how much I was just dripping. And so because I was at the store, I ended up getting the cold and flu medication, right? It's the one with the daytime and the nighttime pills, like the blue for whatever and the yellow ones for whatever. So I would have the daytime ones, no problem, because I'm like, oh, you know what, fine. And I normally sleep okay. Like, I don't, the coughing doesn't wake me up. Like, I usually do sleep fine even when I'm sick. And so the first night I was like, oh, you know what, I slept fine. Okay, great, whatever, no big deal. And the second night I kind of thought, you know what, this is an excuse to get a bit of a buzz going, right? It's okay to medicate when you're sick. I'm legitimately sick. It's all right. And so I popped, I think it was the blue ones, the nighttime ones, the 2 pills. And I was on the couch watching TV, and then I was just done. I was done. Out cold. And again, normally, generally, even when I'm healthy and good, I still do wake up a few times throughout the night, and I fall asleep again right away. It's just, I don't know, it's something about me wakes up, I restart the show that was on TV, because I'll have a recorded show on the DVR. I'll restart the show, and then I fall asleep again a few minutes later. It happens maybe about 3 or 4 times in the night. It's not frustrating. If I was up and then awake for an hour, then it would bother me, but it's not. I fall asleep again right away. So that night when I took the nighttime ones, not even that. I didn't even do that. So when I woke up in the morning, I was kind of like, almost like I was blackout drunk. Like, I had to sort of reconcile, okay, did I set the house alarm? Did I send the dogs outside? Like, did I do everything right? Like, I just passed out on the couch. Like, I woke up feeling fine, but not fine, because was I responsible last night? What happened? And sure enough, I just passed out on the couch. I had brushed my teeth, I had done everything, but yeah, just the medication just wiped me out. Kind of interesting. Kind of freaky. I'm not saying to get your buzz on, but, you know, anyway. We're going to talk, speaking of getting your buzz on, with marijuana becoming legal in Canada, I've got some opinions on that. I'm going to tell you about that coming up in the next segment.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. In the last segment, I mentioned that I was sick. And so when I kind of feel like hell, here's a bit of a secret in the broadcasting world. We actually have a whole bunch of segments that are pre-taped that we would then run if, for instance, I'm out of town or something. But we didn't actually have an introduction recorded with me sounding normal. And so we thought, hey, you know, we could fake it, because we are live today. It is October 5th, 2018. And we're like, oh yeah, great. We can just plop in a bunch of the segments and, you know, piece together a show like I was actually feeling good today. And then it was like, crap, we don't have an opening and we don't have a closing. We don't have me doing it. So it would be awkward, because you'd have me sounding like this, and then the other segments I'd be sounding like normal. And so we thought, yeah, people, I don't know how observant our listeners are. I mean, I do give you guys credit, but, you know, not always. And so, anyway. All right, in the last segment, I mentioned the whole marijuana legalization. Cannabis, pot, weed. It's all legal in Canada in just a couple of days. And so if you're from Canada, you've probably seen all of the different campaigns, right? There's billboards, there's commercials, right? Don't drive while you're high, don't do, you know. And so it seems like, to me, the governments are expecting just a flood of people to all of a sudden start doing or using marijuana. Now, I wrote my newspaper column, and I said, I'm not sure, just because now it's legal, if people are going to do it. Like, I think pot or marijuana, whatever you call it, weed, if you wanted to do it before it was legal, you were going to find a way to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's no different than underage drinking. If you want to try it, you're going to find a way to make it happen. Now, that's not to say that I believe my parents will all, you know, they didn't have a dealer, but I also don't expect that they're now going to go to the store. My mom's picking up milk and go, let me get some weed brownies, some pot brownies. I just don't think that she's going to do it. So what my point is that I don't know that people are going to all of a sudden just suddenly start using marijuana because it's legal. It's legal. Maybe they will. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert. Now, again, in full disclosure, I've never even touched an actual cigarette before in my life, like a tobacco, like a nicotine cigarette. Never even touched one of those. So clearly, I've never touched a joint. Just kind of think of it. How many different like slang words are there for pot, marijuana, weed? I've already used about 4 of them. There's probably a lot that I haven't even thought of, right? Because again, I'm not down with that crowd, so there's probably other words for it. Send me an email, educate me. Live at jbonair.com, live, L-I-V-E, at jbonair.com. One of the problems with being sick is that some of your words you can't enunciate. Or pronunciate, I heard someone say the other day. Pronunciate. Ugh. But live at jbonair.com, tell me all the different slang words for marijuana. Cannabis. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ways to say it. So anyway, what do you think? Do you think that people are going to start to use it just because it's legal in Canada? And if you're from California or Colorado, I would love to hear from you because it's legal right in both of those states. And, maybe people are doing a little bit more freely now, but at the same time, are new people trying it? So, and again, this is just my opinion, my thought. Maybe there are statistics or studies that show it does have increased usage when it's legal, but yeah, I want to know. Because to me, I think if people will try it, I think what will happen, it's like when you go to an all-inclusive resort. I remember the very first time I ever stayed in an all-inclusive resort in Cuba, about almost 11 years ago. You overdo it because the booze is free, right? So that first day, it's an open bar. You can drink whatever you want, as much as you want. Go up to the counter. You don't have to pay. You just take another drink. And you get drunk, right? Don't lie to me. It's happened, okay? And so that's what I did the very first time that I experienced that. And the same thing when I covered a red carpet event. I've talked about it here on this show. When I was covering Canadian Idol back in the day, my first big media event, and there's an open bar. And I got piss-ass drunk and made a fool of myself. Because, again, there's that novelty of, hey, it's free, so I'm going to have another one. I'm going to have another one. I'm going to have another one. And so I don't know that... I don't know that people will... I'm not sure. Maybe people will buy it because, again, you can now, because it's cool to, hey, I can go into the store and buy it. Will that make it a habit, though? Will it make it, I don't want to use the word addiction either, because, that's, I don't know. Again, send me an email, tell me your thoughts. Live at jbonair.com, live at jbonair.com. Interesting to see how many, different workplaces are now having to adapt. Well, I guess... Well, no, if it's a legal substance, right? I mean, although so is alcohol, and you're not allowed in many, broadcasting, we have booze all over the building, and, it'll be interesting to see how many, employee handbooks or schools all of a sudden have to sort of adjust their policies and rules. So, now there was also talk in Toronto, the mayor there is suggesting that, if it's going to be okay to use marijuana in a public park, why is it not okay to, if you're having a picnic, let's say, to have a bottle of beer or a glass or bottle of wine? And it's very true where I'm from in Manitoba that, although you won't be able to smoke marijuana in a park, though, so I should be clear on that one. But at least in Toronto, let's say, that they're so sticky on the alcohol, the booze laws, that they're sticklers, and they just won't allow. You'll get in trouble if you are sitting there with an open can of beer in a park. I mean, if they spot you, right? It's not like they're searching for you, but yes, you'd get in trouble. But yet marijuana will be okay. So alcohol, which has been legal for who knows how many decades, right, in Canada, that you can't do that, but all of a sudden this new substance comes in, and you're allowed to. Now, let me talk about Manitoba for a second, because, again, I wrote a newspaper column about this, where the laws are a little bit backwards, okay? And you can gamble at a government-run casino 24 hours a day on the weekend. But it's illegal for a retail store to be open past 6 o'clock on a Sunday. But you can go to the casino and piss away your life savings. Okay, I'll say that again. So I can go and feed a slot machine $20 bills, no problem, at 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday. But I can't go to the Walmart. I can't go to Walmart and buy a bag of dog food to feed my dog. So I can feed a slot machine, but I can't feed my dog legally in Manitoba at 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday. Now, there are some exceptions. I don't want to make it sound like it's a ghost town, everything's closed. There are like drug stores and little small, corner stores that can be open, but I'm talking actual retail stores. I'm talking your Walmart. I'm talking your your Safeway, your grocery stores, your big things like that. It's illegal for them to be open past 6 o'clock on a Sunday. But again, a government-run casino is okay. Now, it's interesting because when I was growing up, I thought that because the laws in Canada were one way, for instance, you couldn't shop on a Sunday. You couldn't shop, period, on a Sunday. So I was sort of brainwashed into thinking, okay, well, that's just the right way. That's the right way. I also can't go to a store and buy alcohol before 11 a.m. Okay, well, that's just the way. Because if you buy before that, that's bad. It's truly what I thought when I was growing up. And maybe that's what the government wants you to think. And so now, first time when I was in Mexico, I did a booze cruise. You know what those things are, right? I did a booze cruise, and they handed us Jell-O shooters. And this was about 9:30 in the morning. And I remember, as I'm getting on the boat, thinking, oh my God, I can't have one of these. It's only 9:30. I can't have a Jell-O shooter. But why was I saying that? Because I was brainwashed into thinking that it's bad, it's wrong to have a drink. Now, again, I'm not making a habit out of it, right? I'm not getting shit-faced at 8 o'clock in the morning every day. I'm not even having a glass of wine until... But again, there's that okay time of 11 a.m., right? That's the key time that a restaurant can start serving you wine or booze or whatever it is 11 o'clock. And so it wasn't until I got a little bit older and started doing my own thinking that I was like, yeah, you know what? We are pretty uptight in Canada. As much as we're easygoing and carefree, we're really uptight about the way things run. And so now, again, not that I'm getting, plastered first thing in the morning, but you know what? It should be my choice. If I want to go to the store and buy a bottle of wine, that's not to say consume it, but even if I wanted to consume it in my own home, I should be allowed to do that. And so back to the marijuana thing, that I think that if you lighten up and you loosen up the rules a little bit, I don't know that people are going to take advantage of it. Again, it's the same thing that when I said about the all-inclusive resort and you drink and you get a little bit... You know what? There's going to be the odd person who will do that, right? You're going to do it in excess. But then, if it becomes a regular thing, then it's a problem. But I don't know. So I do find it backwards that, yeah, I can gamble and piss away my life savings, but I can't buy dog food, I can't buy a t-shirt, I can't buy a pair of socks, I can't go to a store because they're not allowed to be open. But yet a casino can take all my money and feed that addiction, right? And again, I thought that rules were made because it was for the health and safety and the benefit of people. But then, as I said, I got older and I started to realize, you know what? It's also about the money for the government. It's about the money. Because sure, they get retail tax from a store when you buy something there. But $20 bills, $50 bills, $100 bills, that's just easy money for a casino. So, tell me your thoughts. Live at jbonair.com. Live at jbonair.com. I'm on a roll and I'm hopped up on cold medication. We'll be back right here on The Scribble.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. That commercial for Mexico. When you're sick, and again, you're not just tuning in. I always forget. This is a podcast, so you've most likely started listening from the beginning. It's not like the radio show. I'm so used to doing radio where it's if you're just tuning in case you missed it. But I don't know. If you're sick, I kind of just want to lay out on a beach if I'm sick. Now that I think about it, when I hear that, I want to be somewhere warm like Mexico if I'm not feeling that great. Or a bathtub. I want to be somewhere warm. Wrapped up in a blanket just doesn't do it for me. So, maybe after the show I'm going to go to Mexico. I don't know. No, probably not. But I did want to say happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian listeners, because Monday is Thanksgiving for our Canuck friends. And, it's always a big deal in our family. We only have a few. It's Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas are kind of the big ones. We used to, believe it or not, we used to end up doing like a big on dinner for Halloween. At some points, we used to do a full, not because we celebrated it, just because it was an excuse to get together. It was another gathering, is what it was. We would get together, and for Thanksgiving though, I always have my staples. I always have the turkey, the mashed potatoes and gravy, the Caesar salad. Those are kind of my three go-tos, and we'll have garlic bread the odd time. And I'm not, here's the thing: I'm Polish and Ukrainian, so pierogies, you have those at special occasions. If you know what a pierogi is, I hope you do. And I just have to be in a mood for those. And of course, I do kind of get the side glare from my family members. It's like, aren't you going to have any pierogies? Or aren't you going to have any this? Aren't you going to have any that? And I just have to be, because to me, I don't know, it's just dough. It's kind of, So I'm not knocking them. I do eat them. Like I said, if I'm in a mood, I will shovel back, 10, 12, or 15 pierogies. That's, I'm not bashing them. It's my heritage. I love them. But I do love garlic as well. No, I like the heavier stuff. I like the turkey, the gravy, the whipped mashed potatoes. They do garlic mashed potatoes. My mom does them. They're just very good. I don't know. Now, as for Halloween, we've got time to talk about Halloween, right? Yeah, do you get involved in Halloween nowadays? Because I used to give out candy at my house, and lately there haven't been many kids coming by, and there's an elementary school just down the street from me. And so I was at Costco the other day, and there's, of course, all the Halloween decorations are up. And my neighbors have the yellow tape on their front door. Either that or there was a crime scene, and I'm just an inconsiderate neighbor. I didn't go and check, make sure everything's okay. But do you find that are less or fewer people giving out candy at Halloween? Like, if you were to think about the street that you live on, because I'll tell you the story about my first Halloween in my house. Because we've got time. We got nothing else going on today. Again, there's an elementary school. Actually, there's an elementary school, junior high, and a high school, all kind of within walking distance of my house. Now, I wasn't expecting high school kids. That's not what I'm getting at. But there was a lot of children. The elementary school is just maybe about 20 houses away, maybe 25 houses away. And so when I'd first moved into my house, my friend had said, we were at Costco, he said, you know what? You should get like 2 big boxes of chocolate because you're going to have a lot of kids and you don't want to all of a sudden run out early. And so that put the fear in me that I'm going to have a group of like 4 kids come to the door and I'm only going to have enough for 3. Right? I'm going to have enough candy for 2 or 3 of them and that's it. So what am I going to do? Hand out like $5 bills to the next one? Or, here, take my dog. Like, I didn't know. I was just so freaked out and paranoid. So we had gone to the store. I had bought, and I learned that you buy the stuff that you like so that if there is any left over, you can just have that for yourself. And years ago, I worked at Party City. I was an assistant manager at Party City in Canada before it closed. It's coming back now. There's stores that are open. And we used to write off a whole bunch of store decorations at Halloween time, right? We would use them in the store. Well, we didn't keep them. We just threw them out. We would get rid of them. So any sort of decorations I ended up inheriting. And I lived with my parents at the time. So I had an entire closet in the basement full of Halloween decorations. So we're talking some really fancy, expensive stuff. So when I moved into my house, I got all this stuff from my mom, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to decorate the house. Now, I'm not going to be one of those people. I didn't have the big inflatable things on the front lawn. It wasn't that extreme. But I had a $200 flaming cauldron lamp, those tall living room lamps in the corner. I had one that had flames for a cauldron. So, I had some really fancy stuff. And I thought, okay, well, you know what, this is my first year in the neighborhood. I'm going to, do it up. I'm going to have the windows done. And so when I got home from Costco, I spent the afternoon decorating the living room and the front doorway and then the front yard. And when I was decorating the front window, I would go outside, I'd run to make sure that you could see every light, every candle, every whatever, and I'd run back in and move it, and then I'd go back out and check again, and a fog machine behind the front door so that when it would open, the fog would go through the crack and it would kind of blow at the kids. And again, I didn't get anything of it, I just wanted to have some fun, right? And so I was like, okay, good, it's getting dark. I had little devil horns for my dog at the time. And I thought, okay, he'll be sitting in the window, and when people come up, they'll see him, and it'll be fun. And again, I've got the big bowl, I've got the little table beside the door. Like, I accessorized the house. I had it all ready to go. Spider webbing, you name it, I had it. And so then I was kind of like, okay, good. And now we wait. And I wasn't sure what time the kids come, because I didn't remember what time we would go. It seemed like it was really late, but it was probably about 6 or 6:30, I think. We would go after school, my brothers and I. And so I'm sitting on the couch. I got the TV on, but the TV's quiet because I don't want to miss the kids yelling at the door. And I'm sitting there. I'm sitting and sitting. So my dad calls me and he asks, how many kids have I had? And at the time I had 0. I had not had any kids come to my house. And my parents are the ones that, like, they keep track. Like, my mom's got the running tally of how many kids came. And I said no, and they were already like double digits, and I hadn't had anybody. And so then they try to make me feel better. Oh, well, it's still early. They're going to come. And I think that year I had, and again, I didn't keep track, but it was either a little bit more or a little bit less than 10. Let's say it was a little bit more than 10. And so for me, it was just really kind of devastating. I was actually kind of upset. I was sort of sad that, like, here, I'd spent all this time, doing it for you guys. I was doing it for you guys. You had grateful kids. And then there was even a time where I was in the window, not in the window like a creeper, but I was, on the couch looking out the window, and I'd see kids going right by, and I was like, how are you not coming here? Like, I've got it all decorated, I've got the lights. It's like, I wasn't one of those people that had the lights off and make it look like nobody's home, right? Because, you used to hate those houses. When you were going out trick-or-treating, you would hate those people. Because you'd even see maybe the glow of their TV, and you're like, you know what, you're home, you little ass. Give us some candy, you cheapskates. And so, yeah, it was clear, it was evident that I was home and ready to go on Halloween. And I was very disappointed. So the next year, I decided to have a bit of fun with it. So I had my friend over, the one that I was with the year before, and I didn't buy as much candy, but I did say, we're going to make this a drinking game. And so for every, little boy that comes, you'll do a shot. For every little girl, I'll do a shot. Or whatever it was, vice versa. And so I thought, okay, well, again, there's really nobody coming, so we're not going to get plastered at the end of this. And again, really not very many kids came. But I had still had a few drinks in me, and here's the deal. The fog machine, when I was opening the door, the fog machine was blowing the fog back into the house. Well, it set off my smoke detector, and my smoke detector is connected to my house alarm. And so the house alarm started going off because of the smoke from the fog machine. And then the alarm company is calling, and because I'm kind of buzzed, I was like, I answered the phone, and then it's like, well, we need to know your code or whatever it is. And it's not the numbers that I press into the panel, on the wall at the house. You have a code word, a secret word. And again, I'm like half buzzed. I'm like half in the bag. And I'm like telling the guy, I'm like, I don't know, I'm at my house. I am telling you right now, there is no problem. You called my house phone. I am answering my house phone. I am telling you there is no fire. Why would I want to be in my house if it's burning down and not have the fire department come? Obviously, I would want that. Well, I'm going to have to send the fire department if I can't get your password. And so flat out, I just said, I was kind of a belligerent drunk. I just said, if you send the fire department, that is a false alarm. And they could be being taken away from an actual legitimate fire. And that's going to be on you. And I'm not kidding you. About a minute or so later, I heard the sirens for fire trucks. And I thought, no frickin' way did you send the fire department, you little ass. But the fire department is actually just down the street for me. And they go past my house all the time. And so I was like, oh my God, they're getting louder. But they went right by. So thankfully they didn't dispatch the fire department to my house, because I would have been livid. Anyway, back to the original point. Do you still think that kids are trick-or-treating? Is it sort of a pastime now? Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
All right, in our final remaining moments before I keel over, feel free to give me a shout anytime. Chime in on the discussion topics. I always love hearing from you. My email address is live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. I don't know what is happening on the show next week. I do know that we had taped it already, but I don't remember. Here we go. There's the coughing. I'm going to wrap this up before. All right, my name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in to thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. Bye-bye, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,